Hey everybody, it's Tuesday, May 6th, 2025. Welcome to the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast where we're Knicks fans. That's me, your man, MG Marcus Grant, joined by Michael F. Floria, who is rejoicing on this Tuesday morning, and Laquan Jones, who...
Yeah.
How do you feel? Because you said you're a former Celtics fan. Like, how are you feeling right now?
Yeah, I am a former Celtics fan. And like, Gavin, can we pull up the picture real quick? Because just to prove that I was a former Celtics fan. This is
whoa. Why is Eazy-E wearing Celtics gear? What's happening here?
Very Eazy-E influence, because how did you know that was my favorite rapper? Easy Does It was my first album I bought for my first car.
I didn't know that, but just like the whole look and everything.
Yeah. Very influenced.
Wow.
So as a former Celtics fan, I got to say, though, I'm a Knicks fan.
No.
Let's go. Knicks tape, baby.
Oh, wow. I'm generally indifferent to the Knicks. I know that if the Knicks win this series, Knicks fan is going to be insufferable for a while. But as a self-respecting West Coaster, it's bleep the Celtics all day, every day. So,
Florio, how does it look?
It looks great, man. Orange and blue.
it's also wild that we're having to convert a guy from New Jersey to the Knicks. Like you
know what, dude? I told you my hate for the Celtics right now. How they turned their back on IT4 Isaiah Thomas. So therefore, I stopped watching and supporting after that. So
Brunson is a Jersey guy. Cat is a Jersey guy. Bridges is not only a Rams fan. He shouted out Weatherspoon after having the most televised chain snatch since Richard Sherman and Michael Crabtree. And people are still saying this Knicks team ain't tough. Okay, we'll see.
Let's go, Knicks.
I'm happy we got you on board, LQ. Let's go.
I did not expect the start of this show to turn into Knicks tape, but here we are. Yeah, there it is. Okay, enough NBA talk. We are going to do a rookie mock draft. We did the whole mock draft recently, and now we want to do kind of a rookie thing. I have not picked an order. We'll maybe do that live on the show or something. I don't know. We'll figure out how to do it. But we'll do that in later on in the show. We'll start though with a little bit of news headlines, news and rumors. Probably the best way to describe this, because I saw this and I just took a deep sigh when I saw this headline.
As it says in the rundown.
As it says in the rundown. Atlanta Falcons offensive coordinator Zach Robinson says he expects Kyle Pitts to, quote, take a big jump in the second year in the offensive scheme.
Are we doing this?
All right, man. Like, Florida, I'm going to ask you because, you and I, we held on for a while. Like, we rode this thing for a while with Kyle Pitts. And last year was kind of like, all right, man, it's not happening. You even did a big thing on Fantasy Live where you just basically proclaimed that you were out. Now he's currently tight end 16 in the Fantasy Pros ranking. So the investment is not big, but are you willing for one last ride? It's the burglar who's getting one last score before he gets out of the game. Are you willing to do one last ride with Kyle Pitts?
Just when I think I'm out, right? They pull me back in because I don't want to be, right? Like you said, I literally declared on Fantasy Live last year that I'm done. But at tight end 16, I pulled up Fantasy Pros consensus ranks. Tight end 18, some of the names going around him: Zach Ertz, Pat Freiermuth, like Dallas Goedert. I'm in on Goddard if he gets moved, but like, with him on Philly and these other guys, I would take the shot on Pitts as my tight end 2 over those guys because of upside. Now, I'll preference it by saying I think I'm going to be more in on the rookie tight ends than Kyle Pitts. Like in that tight end 2 range, probably have a lot more Tyler Warren, maybe some Colston Loveland sprinkled in. But I've also been on this show saying a lot that I'm probably going to be the wait on tight end guy this year because I'm so sick of being in the middle rounds and getting burned by someone that I think has upside that I'd rather just wait and throw 2 darts late. If I'm going that route, Kyle Pitts fits as one of those late round upside darts.
I mean, Laquan, you were new to the Kyle Pitts bandwagon. We finally got you on last year, and we see how that worked out. Is it once burned and you're done, or are you willing to maybe forgive and forget a little bit?
It takes very little for me to put you in the satchel this time. Honestly, come on, Florio. We need to get our friend some help. He needs to get off the Kyle Pitts train. This is a serious problem. Like, there's a number you could probably call for the Kyle Pitts. This is bad, bro. Like, when I see Zach Robinson talking about this, and then I remember where he came from, he is a Sean McVay guy. He is a guy that understands how the 3 wide receiver set works and that 11 personnel. And that's exactly what we were seeing last season. They were 21st in tight end targets per game, which was only 5. So it's just like, it's not a tight end friendly situation. This is not how the offense is going to be able to operate at a high level to create these scoring opportunities, because we look at Ray McCloud. He was fantasy relevant some weeks. That should have been Kyle Pitts, but it wasn't because the offense just operated better. You know what I mean? So it's like he'll be trying to fit and fix and make a square go in a circle, putting Kyle Pitts in this offense to be functionable. Like, I just don't really see it happening for a full season scale for me to even want to dive into tight end 16, where you named Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz, and who else was it? I mean, another guy that's probably in Pat Freiermuth. These are tight end friendly offenses, man. It just does not make sense for me to even try to go buy candy corn just because it's a penny, you know?
Well, you shouldn't buy candy corn anyway, because candy corn is an insult to both candy and corn, but that's a different story.
We are.
I mean, but Laquan, I mean, just from a talent standpoint, like, you don't think he's more talented than Ray McCloud or Darnell Mooney?
I said this last season, like, make him a Patriot. Like, if we were able to see Hunter Henry, you know what I mean? Just go out there and sneaky be good to be fantasy relevant. I think he needs to go to a team that will utilize him more as a actual threat. Like, he's just a decoy at this point in Atlanta, where we have not seen that rookie year from him. And then when we look back to that rookie year, it's so long ago. It was like almost 10 years ago. My son is like about to be 9. Like, it just feels like it was so long ago. Like, it just does not feel real that, you know, we are still on this train that is just never lasting, that we'll see greatness.
Yeah, I do think most people are sort of off of this now. Like, the fact that he is ranked so low, I think, suggests how most people feel. But, you know, look, you know, the fantasy streets, they got a lot of hope in their hearts, man.
Yeah, like, a lot of sickness out there.
I mean, how many times there's always a guy who has a hive and you see one good story about him and then suddenly the hive starts buzzing again. So I'm just curious whether or not we're going to get the Kyle Pitts hive.
Is the perfect example for that.
Oh, I mean, I still think the ultimate example will always be Josh Gordon. Always be Josh Gordon. You know, no matter how many
story, man, that burned the community.
No matter how many times he was suspended and almost come, like, every time, hey, Josh Gordon, possibly up for reinstatement, like, people would just kind of dive back in again. So, yeah, I would keep an eye on Pitts' ADP, but I do think most people are kind of like, all right, man, the ship has definitely sailed at this point.
Yeah.
This one's for you, Laquan.
Oh, boy.
Kyren Williams says, quote, I don't feel like I've touched my peak yet. Last year, he finished as the RB7. He's ranked right around RB 11 or 12 this year. You know, we have discussed many times how you feel about Kyren Williams on this show. What is his peak in fantasy what is his ceiling in 2025?
Last season. I mean, that will be the absolute best case scenario, but there's a different situation going on now. I mean, you add another body to that running back room, you know Jarquez Hunter is going to touch the ball because he has that juice that we've been lacking. And it's more so looking at, you know, like, how last season ended. Like, we're going to see sprinkles of more of Blake Corum, but then unfortunately, in a pointless game, he gets injured. We don't see him in the playoffs. So Kyren Williams is going to have to either get a little bit faster on breakaway speed, or he's going to have stick him on his hands when he's grabbing that ball from Matthew Stafford to not drop it. And these are things that he needs to work on, but there's just too many factors where I don't even see him hitting his ceiling that he did last season to be an RB1. It'll probably be like a fringe RB1 where some weeks he might sprinkle in a touchdown here and there, but I'm looking at him as an RB2.
Flora, he went, third round, if I'm not mistaken, in our recent mock draft?
I feel like Kyren is so underappreciated in fantasy, man. He went
and in LA
for almost 1,500 yards last year and 16 touchdowns. Like, and no one wants him. Okay, I'll gladly take him then in late round 3.
Last season, so that is you hit on that last season because you were like, he's getting to the point where like his ADP is dropping where I'm all in. Like,
the Rams want him.
That.
The Rams are talking a contract extension with him. The Rams seem to want him around. Like, you know, I know RB3 here thinks Jarquez Hunter is going to walk in and just start taking like all these touches and everything. But like everything the Rams are doing suggests they still want Kyren Williams around.
That was the most smooth sprinkle of RB3.
I love the name.
That caught me off guard.
RB3.
But like even before last year, he had in 2023, he had what 15. So he's had 15 touchdowns in 2 straight years and over 1,300 total yards. And he's tied to one of the best coaches in football and one of the best offenses in football.
And this is where real life scenario comes in. He leads the league in those back-to-back seasons and fumbles lost. And that's the biggest problem and why they're not getting this contract done this season. He wants too much to be such a liability.
I think fumbles are highly overrated.
It can be fixed. It's a thing that can be fixed. Lots of guys
and
it's
fix it. It's a backbreaker in that moment and in a game, but he had 5 fumbles on how many 350 touches.
But there was a crucial look at the games that he dropped.
But you're coming at it from a fan standpoint, Like I think if you're Sean McVay, you're like, I don't want you to have those 5 fumbles, but you had to.
I have my fan hat on. I just feel the community has spoken. Like we are not all in on Kyren. Like the Rams community, like we're more burned on that Eagles fumble. We're more burned on the crucial fumbles and the fumbles that just keep happening. So that's more so how I'm looking at it.
That -2 doesn't really hurt me that much. No, I mean, really, it doesn't really hurt me that much. I mean, it's the same way, like I've been arguing for years that for quarterbacks, you should have escalators on interceptions, right? That like anything after, it's -2 for your first 2 interceptions. You throw a third, that's -3. You throw a fourth, it's -4. Because really, those -2s don't hurt as much. It's the reason Jameis Winston can throw 30 picks in a season and still be a top 5 fantasy quarterback. Like in fantasy, if these are the rules that we are working with, those -2s don't hurt me, especially if he finds the end zone. They don't hurt.
8 fumbles on 654 career touches. That is a fumble 0.01 every percent of his touches.
It doesn't hurt us fantasy people, but it hurts the Rams. You see what I'm saying? Which goes into decision making of touches.
He's fumbling on less than 0.1% of his touches.
I hear you guys, but I'm just saying it goes into the decision making and giving him the ball and how many times he will touch the ball in those crucial areas.
They're talking about giving him a contract extension, so they don't hate it that much.
Like they can't agree on it because
he touched the ball 350 times last year.
I mean, if they were really just out on him, they would have just been like, all right, well, we're done. We're just going to let you walk.
But we haven't heard that from since January, February now? We haven't heard anything about a contract from him now.
Like late March. There was some articles from end of March.
Yeah.
Dude, make him do the Tiki Barber. Have him carry the football the entire offseason.
Watch the program, right? You saw the program. If anybody brings this football back to me other than you, you're going to be problems. Like, just treat him like Omar Epps in the program. He'll be fine.
I view fumbles kind of how Harmon have used drops. Matt Harmon, friend of the show. Like, they don't matter unless the coaching staff stops giving you opportunities.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at with it.
but like Sean McVay is still running him out there and giving him touches. So like if Sean McVay trusts him, why can't Laquan Jones?
You know what? You got me there. I'm just still hurt. I feel like we should have another ring last season, but that's just, again, I have my fan hat on. I'll leave it alone.
You are with Kyren Williams where Florio was with Dalton Kincaid at the end of last season.
Yeah.
Mine's is a little bit like, it's still in my gut.
But the difference is Kyren Williams is a legitimately good football player. The jury's still out on Dalton Kincaid.
I mean, like right now, if Laquan had his way, he would like blindfold Kyren Williams and ask him to walk across Wilshire Boulevard during rush hour traffic. Like that's what he would ask him to do. That's where we are right now.
If you could dodge a car, you could dodge a tackler. I don't know.
You could hold a football. Like, what are you doing? All right. Well, right now, people are still sort of in, but yes, the ADP is falling, and I'm curious whether or not we see a bounce at some point during it. Here's the thing. We'll never see a bounce during training camp with the Rams.
Because they lie.
Let me rephrase that. Let me think this through out loud, right? If we see Kyren Williams playing during the preseason, then it's all bad and you stay away from him. If Kyren Williams is not playing during the preseason, if Sean McVay is holding him back, then it's all good, and we all move ahead.
I'm praying that they announce that he's going to return punts or something this year. Let him fall in the 4th round.
We saw how that worked out last year.
Into a spiral in the fantasy streets last year. That was funny though.
We saw how that worked out last year.
And then like 2 weeks later, it's like Blake Corum is going to be returning kicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't you tell me he returned like 6 kicks or something like that? Like,
I don't even know if it was that many, was it?
After week 3.
Yeah, I don't even think it was that many last year after like the whole hubbub about him returning kicks and everything. Yeah, and I think even the attempts he had, I feel like he like fair caught most of them. Right?
Yeah, as he should. He got injured his first year. His rookie year, he got injured on kick return. So
last year, he returned 2 punts for 12 yards. That was it.
He fell a full round.
Five punt returns in his entire career.
Nice.
So, yeah, there it is. All right, last little bit of thing, and it will lead us into our rookie mock draft. Chad Reuter, who does a lot of great work at NFL.com, has 16 day 3 picks who could compete for starter snaps as rookies. I picked out 3 that were kind of interest. It was interesting the order that he put them in because they were different. It was different than the order they went in our most recent mock draft. He has Jaden Blue among the offensive players as the first one on his list with the Dallas Cowboys. Some of it kind of, I'll say it hurts. Like at this point, I'm kind of, I know what Javonte Williams is. Like I have no more illusions about Javonte Williams. I do think there's a real chance Jaden Blue can get starter snaps in this offense. I guess the question though, Florio, is that enough to make him fantasy relevant? Is he going to take enough of the workload that it's going to matter for us?
I think it's enough to be throwing late round dart throws on him. And I think I'm the one who took him in our latest mock in like round 11, I want to say 10, 11, something like that. And I'm going to continue to do so because he ran a 4.37 40. And when you watch him, he plays that fast. He's quick feet. He's got burst, and he's the type of running back that could take like a 10-yard run and turn it into a really long touchdown run or something like that. And I don't want to say he's going to fully overtake this backfield. I think Miles Sanders is just there for depth. I think the Cowboys are looking at it like Blue and Javonte are their guys. But to me, if you're splitting work, give me the guy who has the big play capability, who can get those explosive plays. And the more, I think it's one of these situations, guys, where like early in the year, I'm expecting Javonte to open up as the starter. I know there's a camp battle and everything that's still to occur, but I think Blue could just steal more and more work as the year goes on. And come the second half of the season, I do think he has the potential to be either an every week flex option or an RB2, something like that. Because let's not forget either, the Cowboys, they used their the picks and stuff that they had this year to revamp their O-line more than anything. So if he's getting running lanes and stuff, he can really make defenses pay.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably fair. I'm skeptical that one of these guys gets a big enough opportunity. Like I'm with you. I think Javonte is the starter in week 1. I don't think there's much argument there. It's a question of how long does it take Blue to get up to speed, and when do they trust him? Will they trust him enough to give him a significant, is he going to get more than 8 to 10 touches in a game? Because if he's just hovering around like 8 to 10, even 12, that's going to be hard. And I think that's my
pretty
fear.
Good though, because like where he's going in rookie drafts, you're getting him like in that late second or even in the 3rd round. Like we just did a mock the other day. He went at the 305, and I'm like, well, that's kind of cheap. I could take that shot on him, but in redraft, like Florio said, if you're going to take that late round dart, you're just hoping that he gets those 10 to 12 touches, because we already know Miles Sanders probably not making the team. Javonte Williams is going to be the kind of bigger every down back and probably get some goal line carries, but to have that backfield to have some juice, that's definitely going to be Blue. So if he breaks off like a 74-yard run, that's points. That's opportunity showing that the coaching staff can trust him with the ball if he doesn't fumble it. But Isaiah Stanback has been pounding the table that they are revising that O-line. He's been pounding the table that the coaching staff as well are going to try to have this run game look like vintage Cowboys run game we known and love when Zeke was there. So like they don't really necessarily have the running back pieces right now, but Blue can take that opportunity as the lead back to make that mold of what they're trying to get with that run game. Yeah,
I mean, 2 things about that. One, they are trying to rebuild it to what they had when Zeke was there, but they don't have Zeke. Like they don't have prime. Easy. They don't have early career Zeke, who was just a monster. The other part is if part of the excitement about Blue is hoping he breaks a long play, What Devon Achane did as a rookie with like just big play after big play was phenomenal. It's also not repeatable. Like it's just a hard thing to bank on. And if that's what we have to bank on with Blue,
it's like Achane, and then there's Bucky Irvin, and then hopefully it's RJ Harvey, and then Blue will fit somewhere there.
Yeah. The next guy on Chad's list was Cam Skattebo. I don't know how much we want to die because we all love Cam Skattebo.
Yeah, he's the man.
But is he anything more? I liked Tyrone Tracy, and I thought he showed well at times last year. I mean, Laquan, I as much as I like Cam Skattebo, I'm not convinced he's able to push Tracy aside in any significant way this year.
No way. I mean, when Tracy took the keys after week 5, it was kind of like, whoa, this guy can really ball out and play. I think more so if you look at those final 5 to 6 games, like his efficiency was all over the place, but fantasy-wise, he put up like 19 points in one of those games that he had like 3.7 yards per carry. And then he was able to get some receiving work as well because he's a former wide receiver. So when he gets into that open space, he could be just as good as Cam Skattebo out in that space in the passing game. So he has a duality that they're looking for that, you know, Cam Skattebo possesses. But I don't think that you're just going to completely get rid of Tyrone Tracy. It's just more so going to be a headache of him splitting because we kind of saw that with Devin Singletary with his role as well when he was there in the first early couple of games of the season.
I think
fear, Florio, is that guy. Was that?
I think he's going to be their lead back this year.
Ooh. Cam?
Yeah.
Damn.
Wow. I like that. I'm very curious about that. My fear is they end up kind of splitting, and that more than anything, Cam Skattebo and Wan'Dale Robinson are going to do a lot of the same things in that passing game.
Leave Wan'Dale alone, bro. Short Kings.
No, it's not. This is not like a shot at Wan'Dale Robinson. Just more that like what they ask him to do and what they ask Cam Skattebo to do are going to be very similar. That's all.
I think we're going to get a rotation because Tracy, former wide receiver, like to me, I think we're going to get a lot more 2 running back sets than we did last season. I wouldn't be surprised if these guys just alternate drives to keep them fresh and stuff like that because they are very similar skill sets. And look, I like Tracy a lot as well, but like there was a lot of times last year where he looked like a guy still learning the running back position. Whereas Skattebo comes in, he's bigger, he's got more draft capital, stuff like that. I don't think Tracy goes away, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a 60-40 split in Cam's favor.
The next thing is we need the Giants to just score more points.
That.
Yeah, no, I mean, really.
I'll say the most important part.
We need them to score more points, and then it becomes a thing for sure. Last one, Dante Thornton, the wide receiver for the Raiders. I mean, guys, this just looks like you just look at the depth chart there. I mean, we know Jacoby Myers is going to play and get targets. Jack Besh, a 2nd-round pick, he's going to be on the field. But why can't Thornton compete with like Trey Tucker or somebody like that?
I think he takes that from Trey Tucker, honestly, off top. I mean, Trey Tucker is more of like a Wan'Dale Robinson type that you kind of have gadget and move around and line of scrimmage stuff. But Thornton, he could stretch the field, and that's his big specialty of just high pointing the ball, being physical, combat hands that all the draft analysts say. So he's one of those guys that could really be a threat and help out Geno on that long ball. And the same with Jack Besh. Like, I think the offense just looks better with him on the field versus a Trey Tucker where he's limited in packages of what he can do.
It's a much better real life thing, though, than fantasy. Like, I have zero interest in fantasy here.
I was going to say, because like last year, Brock Bowers had 153 targets. Jacoby Myers had 129 targets.
Bad quarterback play.
And Ashton Jancy's going to get 100 more touches than those backs had last year.
Yeah,
I think Besh will probably have like the 75 mark of
Geno
targets.
and Pete struggled to get JSN fantasy relevant when he was a 3 in Seattle. So sorry, Thornton, sorry, Besh, all of these guys. I still think Myers and Bowers are the top 2 targets. And after that, I'm really not.
Without a doubt. Last year, the 2 of them combined for almost 48% of the Raiders' targets.
Yikes.
Wow.
So I think at best, I think
give Bowers even more. There's no reason to stop throwing him the ball.
Run him to the ground.
At best, Thornton will be the number 4 target if he becomes a starter consistently, and that's just not enough to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, nah.
Go check it out over at NFL.com. 16-day 3 starters who could compete for 16-day 3 picks who can compete for starter snaps as rookies. Go through the whole thing. There's defensive players there as well. But it's a good way to lead us into our rookie mock draft. All right, so after some long deliberation between between segments, we basically decided that I'll go first and Laquan will go second and Florio will go third. It really was as simple. It really was as simple as, hey, do you want to go first? Yeah, okay, sure.
One question.
No real science to it. No real science to it. We're going to go through 4 rounds of a rookie mock draft. We'll each have 4 picks in the first round, or each round, I should say. So this is more of like kind of just a feeling of how we think these drafts will shake out. It's not necessarily trying to build any kind of rosters or anything like that. Just kind of our feeling about this whole thing.
Superflex or no?
Why not? Let's do Superflex. Why not? Just
give these QBs some love.
Give QB some.
I guess this QB class sucks. So you're like, grab Quinn Ewers.
Well, here's the thing. I feel
way
like
to follow up. Give them some love.
I feel like maybe this year there's not as much of a difference between a Superflex and a.
That is true. Actually, you don't have to draft a quarterback.
There's not a ton of difference, maybe a little bit, but not a lot. So anyway, I will start it off without a doubt. There's no argument here. Ashton Johnson is going to be the first pick here in our rookie mock draft. I mean, yeah, we've talked about him so much. Huge opportunity there in Las Vegas. Incredible talent. He's easily the number 1 pick for me. So Laquan, you are up next. Where are you going with the number 2 pick in a Superflex?
I'm going to go with Travis Hunter.
Ooh, okay.
And I believe that is probably the safest pick because of what we already know about Jacksonville, what they have plans for him to use. I mean, I'm expecting a high target share between him and Brian Thomas Jr. I don't see them adding any other wide receivers there. The running back, is basically, Travis Etienne, Tank Bixby, and Bashal Tootin. So they're all going to be rotating there. So the target share should be high, for a Brenton Strange and a Brian Thomas Jr. and a Travis Hunter. So that's my pick.
All right. So Travis Hunter goes number 2. Florio, you're at number 3. Where are you going to go?
I was really hoping for Travis Hunter. But I made this splash in a rookie draft last week. I'm going to double down on it. Give me Trevion Henderson. Who I know is not most people's consensus RB2 in this class, but he was my RB2 in this class heading into the draft. And I think him and Hampton are in similar situations where right away they're going to be splitting work with a veteran back. The difference is the regime in LA brought in that other veteran back. They did not in New England. Plus, Henderson is just a bigger play threat, and I think he's a better pass catcher as well.
All right. So we start off with Johnson, Hunter, and then Henderson. Well, this is a super flex draft, so I will gladly take Cameron Ward at the number 4 spot. He falls to me there. I get it. Yes, we know this is not the deepest quarterback class, but he was, I think, easily the number 1 guy in this class. We saw kind of how things shook out with the rest of the QBs here, so I will gladly take him at number 4, and hopefully maybe he is Tennessee's quarterback of the future once he pushes Will Levis aside. So there it is. All right, so those are the top 4. Laquan, you are up at number 5. Where are you going to go?
So I am going to make a splash here as well. And I believe a lot of people are sleeping on him. I wrote him down just so I could see it and believe it. Trey Harris with the Chargers over Tetairoa McMillan. And I say that because the upside is just endless, being that the target competition's only really Lab McConkey. And we're trying to get Mike Evans back in the building for him to be healthy. But again, he's just basically Mike Williams without the dangerous diving of the ball hurting himself. Quentin Johnston, I think that project is pretty much over. Like, we could go ahead and put that under the rug and try to forget about it. So who else is there other than Lag McConkey causing that distraction in the middle of the field? And they need a big playmaker as that X, and he's your prototype X. And there you go, Trey Harris.
Not worried about the whole Jim Harbaugh, Greg Roman, we want to run the ball because we got Najee Harris. They got to throw
the ball sometimes. If you want to go down deep, that 17 yards per reception looks very, very good with Trey Harris. So I'm all in.
All right. Okay. So Trey Harris goes 5. Florio, would you like to go off menu here? You're going to be a little more chalky here.
No, I'm going to take the guy that I passed up on last time. Give me Omarion Hampton. I think that this guy is going to be a top 5 pick in almost all rookie drafts. And most of them, he's going top 3. And I know I made a splash with Henderson, but Hampton is built to handle a ton of volume, and there's an opportunity for him to grow as the year goes on and get more and more of that volume. You just got to pray that someone signs J.K. Dobbins and he doesn't end up back in L.A., because then that's awful for fantasy.
Yeah, that's the scary part right now. But here's the thing. If you're talking dynasty, I think it's still okay because J.K. Dobbins, Najee Harris, like none of those guys are going to be there long term. Hampton should outlast all of them.
Let's hope not. Najee doesn't have like a career year with jeans that actually fit and he runs faster. We'll see.
Hopefully he's not running in jeans at all. That just seems uncomfortable, whether they fit well or not. Well, at this point, guys keep falling to me in a spot where I'm very happy. So at number 7, I will take Tet McMillan. I get you guys wanting to, maybe go plant flags. I mean, taking Travis Hunter at 2 is not crazy, and I don't think taking Trey Harris maybe a little aggressive at the 5 spot, but I get it. So either way, Tetero McMillan, who looks like the future, he and maybe our pal Xavier Leggett, the future of the Carolina wide receiver core, and especially if Bryce Young can continue to improve, I think there's some potential there. So I will take him at 7. So back to you, Laquan, at number 8.
Number 8, I'm going to go RJ Harvey. And I think a lot of people were kind of up in arms about him getting that first round grade, but the situation is just too juicy, man. Like I just look at the situation. Who else do they have? Who else is Bo Nix going to turn around and hand the ball off to? And when he wants to dump it off, it's not going to be Audrey Estime. Oh my God, don't say his name.
Audrey Estime.
Listen, I'm trusting Sean Payton not to screw this up because he has a workhorse. I'm trusting.
Sorry.
I'm trying to trust him, but I'm going to take him at that 108.
Tyler Patty.
Oh my God. He's just naming like RB5s at this point.
Oh, I mean, is that beneath you? Because you're not.
Marcus's face was pure shock. Like, this is coming from you?
The cutoff is RB4, man.
Got it. All right. I mean, I just need to know what I'm working with. That's all. All right. So RJ Harvey is now off the board. Florio, where would you like to go at number 9?
You guys are giving me. Oh, wait, no. I just realized that, Marcus, you did take McMillan. I was going to say, you guys are giving me a huge gift here with no. I'm going to go with a different running back here. One who I think belongs. Nope. Not that one.
I was trying to jump the gun here. I was writing in a name, but apparently not.
Wow. I will admit I was not a Caleb guy prior to the draft, but like LQ said on our last show, he fell to the perfect landing spot. And I think you are going to, you're going to get Najee Harris volume here, but with big play capability. I think it was Ian Hartitz tweeted today that like Najee Harris like leads the NFL in 20+ yard runs the last 2 years, but he's never had one more than 37 in his career, as our producer Gavin let us know the other day. So imagine if he had some 40+ yard runs sprinkled in. Caleb has a ton of that in his college tape. So I think that is what we get. And he just is like the prototypical Steelers running back. I just think people are holding on to their priors a little bit too much right here.
I mean, people are calling him Najee Harris 2.0. So,
but he's faster.
That's not exactly a terrible thing, though, because he's going to get the Najee volume. Like, I'm in on it. I mean, I just have my issues with no wiggle. Like, just shake your hips a little bit, man. Make the guy miss. Don't run at him or through him. Like,
here's the thing. It's being Najee Harris is not bad. It's just, it's not exciting. And I think that's the reason.
But if you want exciting. If you gave Najee Harris like a mushroom from Mario Kart, you would get excited. That's what Caleb Johnson is, in my opinion.
All right. So I feel like there's a lot of places I could go here at number 10. Just because I've been a fan of this guy, I've been touting him for a while. I am going to take Tyler Warren.
Wow.
I'm going to take Tyler Warren at 10. Again, this is sort of more looking long term, right? That believing the Colts, maybe not this year, but in the next year or two, are going to figure out something with a quarterback situation.
They should have the number 1 pick.
they may be in the conversation for sure. And look, next year, the quarterback draft is expected to be a lot deeper. So even if they don't get that number 1 pick, there's still a shot for them to get their quarterback of the future. I think Tyler Warren can do so many different things. So I'm willing to take the shot on him.
I think he surprises year 1.
There were a couple other guys I had my eye on. I just had, questions about. So this is where I'm going to go. So All right, we got 2 more picks left here in the first round. Then we'll go on to round 2. Laquan, who do you want at 11?
I'm going to go Jackson Dart. And I'm only going to do that because I'm not expecting year one production because you got the other guys in the room. You got the veterans there. We got Winston, you got Russell Wilson. I think when the keys are handed to him, I think this season will be good enough where you have Brian DeBoll, who still holds on to a job next season, and be able to develop Jackson Dart. Because I do have some optimism about this offense if they mold it right and they get some more picks. They make it desirable, want to play in New York again. Jackson Dart could be a guy that I will be happy to get, as like a QB2 in most leagues.
All right. So 2 quarterbacks off the board in the first round, huh?
You can take LQ out of Jersey, but you can't take the jersey out of LQ.
Let's go.
All right. So, Floria, you get to wrap up round 1. Who you taking at 12?
I'll take the running back that you started writing on my last pick, because Quinshon Judkins is a first-round pick in rookie drafts.
Yeah.
I'm not the highest on him, but, I mean, he's going to get a ton of volume right away. And that's... As long as the Browns aren't getting their doors blown off, I expect him to get a bunch of volume. So maybe like 3 times this year.
Right. It was between Warren and Judkins for me. I decided to go kind of Warren. Just, tight end is still a little bit of a premium where if you can find a good one, I think it's worth holding on to. And I think there's potentially one right there. So that's why I went Warren over Judkins. All right. So that's through round 1. Recap. John T goes 1, Travis Hunter at 2, Travion Henderson at 3, Cam Ward at 4, Trey Harris is number 5, Omarion Hampton goes 6, Teteroa McMillan at 7, RJ Harvey at 8, Caleb Johnson at 9, Tyler Warren 10, Jackson Dart goes 11, and Quinshon Judkins goes at number 12. So, starting round 2, I'm looking around and I'm gonna
just like that.
It does. Sometimes it bees like that. I'm gonna take Emeka Egbuka to start the second round. I definitely didn't want him in round 1. I know we were all sort of head scratching when the Bucs made the pick, but look, as great as Mike Evans has been, his time is starting to come to an end. Chris Godwin, after a couple of major injuries, is he going to be the same? How long before this passing game really does center around Jalen McMillan and Emeka Egbuka? So it may not be a year 1 thing. This may be a year 2, 3 sort of thing, but I think there is a path eventually forward for Egbuka in Tampa Bay. All right, Laquan, you are up with your first pick in the second round.
I'm going to go with, it's between 2 players, and I'm probably going to go with my heart if this was a real draft, but Jaden Higgins, man, I got to pull him up. Man. I got to get him because he's going to have day 1 opportunities, being that, we already saw that DJ gave him that draft comp of Nico Collins, and there's times where Nico isn't always available to be Nico Collins. And if we're going to get that draft comp and we got a guy that is his size running a 4.4, it's very rare that we see guys of his size and his caliber and able to go up and grab the ball like how he's able to do. I'm going to take on that talent that he has a capable quarterback as well on the other side to throw him the ball with CJ Stroud.
I do think, I think it's going to be a consistent thing that guys we're taking now aren't necessarily going to work their way into starter roles in year 1. I think it's a lot of guys who, you look at the path and the path looks, you see a clearing, right? There might be something in your way right now, but we see kind of the light at the end of the tunnel. And I feel like that with Jaden Higgins too, in a wide receiver room that's really crowded down there in Houston at this point. All right, Florio, you're pick number 15 overall. Where are you going to go?
I'm going with my heart, and I do. We were talking about him a little while ago. Give me Cam Scatterboo. I think he can be the guy year 1 for the New York Giants, and I think there's potential for the New York Giants offense to be better than we're thinking after what we've seen in recent years. So, they got Pete league average. That's otherworldly from what they were last season. So
that is true.
They averaged 3 losses since, 3 less wins each year that Brian DeBoll has been there. So they went 9 and whatever, and then they won 6 wins and then 3 wins last year.
0-17, baby. Here we go.
We're on track.
You know what? Eli Manning led them to glory, so why not put yourself in line to draft Eli's nephew and have him be the guy that leads you to glory?
Hey,
and they got an Ole Miss QB on the roster already,
They got an Ole Miss QB on the roster.
There you go. Look how the stars align.
exactly. Just everything coming together in New York. You just have to suffer through a season of pain to get there. I'm going to take at number 16. I'm going to go Luther Burden here.
Interesting.
At this spot. It's a little bit of a belief in Ben Johnson, a little bit of a belief in Caleb Williams. It is knowing, obviously Keenan Allen not there anymore. So there's competition. He's obviously got to deal with DJ Moore and Rome Odunze as the top two targets there. I'm curious. There's another potential pass catcher that's still out there that has not been drafted yet, who he could have to compete with for targets early on in his career. But I just think the way this offense sets up, I think Luther Burden has a real, again, not maybe a year one super relevant kind of season rather. He'll have games here and there, but I do think down the road, Luther Burden potentially is the guy in there in Chicago. So that's a 16. Laquan, who you got at 17?
This is looking real nasty right now. I think this would be a good pick. Jack Besh, because we talked about it a little bit, and he's starting to get a little buzz right now in the fantasy streets because the Raiders came out. They're expecting him to make a day one impact. I think we can get 75 targets out of him. And I honestly think that's decent for a guy that's just coming in as a year one guy. And he's a playmaker that we explained before that he can operate on all three levels of the field. It's not like you have to put him in one package. He can do everything that you ask from him. If you want to put Jacoby Myers on the outside, outside of him playing in the slot, you could put Besh there and he could work that middle for Geno. So I'll take Jack Besh.
All right. So Jack Besh goes 17. Florio, you're at 18. Who you got?
Colson Loveland. Like I'm surprised he made it this far. And look, I know a lot of target comp in Chicago, but they used the 10th overall pick on this guy and Ben Johnson. They picked him over Tyler Warren. Ben Johnson continues to say he's like Sam Laporta. So I'm going to try. I liked Warren a lot more, but I'll go with Loveland here in the middle of round 2.
All right. So Colston Loveland maybe falls a couple of spots, but he ends up going there in round 2. I don't know if this is hot takey or not, but I'm gonna take Jaden Blue here at 19.
Ooh.
After we talked about him earlier in the show.
You gonna have the Blues.
Look, man, it's a 1-year deal for Javonte Williams. And
a couple month deal for Miles Sanders.
Right. I mean, like neither one of those guys projects to be in Dallas beyond this year. I think this year it's going to be frustrating if you're trying to start Blue on a redraft team on a week-to-week basis. But I think, again, it's another guy that everything's setting up for him to get a bigger opportunity. Now, this could all blow up if the Cowboys decide to spend a relatively high draft pick next year on a running back. But for now, he projects to be the starter in a couple of years. And if they can really rebuild that offensive line, I think there's potentially something there. So I'll take him at 19. Back to you, OQ, at 20.
I'm gonna get some tight end love. I'm gonna go Mason Taylor, and I think there's an option for him to be like a guy there, to have some type of target share there. Being that Garrett Wilson needs help, but he doesn't need the ego to be hurt and bruised with another alpha wide receiver on that offense. But if you bring in a tight end, man, that just understands the game and understands where to be. He's not the greatest separators. He's not a guy that can beat you vertically all the time, but he just knows where to be sometimes for his quarterback to be a security blanket. And Justin Fields, he needs that.
All right. So, we got the 3 tight ends off the board here late into the second round. Florio at 21. Who you got?
Give me Bashal Tutin, who is the fastest running back in this class, very explosive, and I think fell to a great landing spot because Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby, those are old regime guys, and the Jags still went out and used a day 2 pick on Tutin, and so I think there's opportunity there for him to come in and see work right away, even if it's not week 1, just as the year goes on, get more and more utilized in that Liam Cohen system.
All right, so Bashal Tutin coming off the board at 22. All right, I will end the slide for Matthew Golden. I know we talked a lot about this on draft night. We talked about it afterwards. None of us are excited about the landing spot and having to deal with that very weird Green Bay receiving room. But at some point. there's a lot of people there. But again, like how long are all those people going to be there? At some point, there's going to be opportunity for Matthew Golden. So at this point in the draft, I want to take the shot on him and seeing, eventually, hopefully the talent sort of wins out and that opportunities kind of open themselves up for him. So 2 more picks in round 2. Then we'll hit a quick break. But Laquan, who do you got at 23?
I got Dart, but I'm going to go Jalen Milroe. That's my guy. Still my guy. And we're seeing the slow-mo videos coming out now and getting
hoping he'd come back around
excited. Like we're already seeing the hype.
I
cannot wait for him to be the starter, man.
All right. So Jalen Milroe goes with the second to last pick in the second round. You got the last pick, Florio. Who you can take?
Well, I was 100% going to take Milroe, but I'll pivot to Elijah Arroyo, who I really like, and I think fell to a good spot. He just has to beat out Noah Fant, right, for opportunities in year 1. But I really like him as a prospect, and he's big-bodied. He's great with the ball in his hands after the catch. I think he's better than he got credit for coming out of college.
All right, so we actually end the second round with a pair of Seahawks with Jalen Milroe and Elijah Arroyo. Got 2 more rounds left to go, so I will start things off with the 25th pick here at the top of the third round. I'm going to take Kyle Williams here.
Wow.
What?
He was going to be Florio's guy, and I was going to snipe Florio for him.
Oh, well, like the sniper got sniped. How does that feel?
Guy. The sniper got sniped.
Sniper got sniped. Dora the Explorer would say, sniper, no sniping. Yeah, I mean, again, I know we weren't super excited about his prospects in year 1, but again, this is a wide receiver room that has consistently been among the worst in the NFL. They are trying to upgrade it because they understand that they have a really good opportunity with Drake May at quarterback. So it's going to be another thing where a couple years down the line, we're starting to see Kyle Williams get a bigger role in this offense. So I'll take the shot here. All right, so now that you got sniped, Laquan, where do you go at 26?
I'm going to go running back, Dylan Sampson. He's over there in Cleveland behind Judkins, and I think he'll have a larger role than some people expect because Kevin Stefanski's first year, he had Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb both have over 190 carries. So I can honestly see this being a 1-2 punch that a lot of people are just letting go under the radar. So I'll grab him right there in that third round.
You think Jerome Ford, doesn't make it out of training camp, gets pushed to the back? Like, what happens with Jerome Ford?
Mr. Stark, I'm not feeling so well right now.
Oh, man.
Dust.
Wow, he got Thanos'd. That's rough. That is
Sampson's
rough.
a way better back, man, and he can add more to that passing game than Jerome Ford that I believe, even though Jerome Ford has his leg up with the opportunities, the playbook, the experience, blah, blah, blah. But it's more so when it comes to who's actually toting that rock. Sampson was literally outside the top 5, running back prospects on a lot of people's lists in the fantasy streets.
All right. Okay. So Dylan Sampson off the board. Now that Kyle Williams has been taken out from underneath you, Florio, where are you going to go at 27?
I'm just realizing, I know we're not like building teams here. I don't think I've taken a wide receiver yet. I will change that, and I'll go with Jalen Noel, who I really liked a lot during the pre-draft process. I liked him more than Higgins, the other Iowa State guy. Funny enough, they end up on the same team. I think Noel could be the future slot guy for CJ Stroud and the Texans, and it's not like Christian Kirk has been the face of health. It's funny. I view the Texans as like, if Christian Kirk goes down, I think it's Noel that's going to get the big bump. If Nico Collins goes down, I think it is Higgins that gets the big bump. So it's funny to me that they kind of drafted injury replacements for their top 2 receivers. That's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they're like, if you guys go down, we got a couple of Iowa State guys that could do exactly what you do.
All right, I'm up at 28, and I had so much fun sniping Laquan previously that maybe I'll do it again, and I'll take Jordan James here at this spot.
That's not who I was.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't just say Jordan James.
I did just say Jordan James. I absolutely said Jordan James. 1, just because I wanted to tweak you a little bit, but 2, also, again, I'm not sold on him as being like the dude necessarily in year 1, but as Christian McCaffrey gets older, a couple years down the line, you start to see a bigger role. We love running backs in a Shanahan offense. Again, at this point, in a rookie draft, you are just planning for the future, right? Like none of these guys you're expected to put in your lineup on a regular basis in year one, but year three, who knows? Maybe there's something there. So yeah, I will take Jordan James right here. So, you're up, Laquan. Now that I've taken your dude. Now that I've taken your dude, you're up.
I'm going to go Brashard Smith. He landed with the Kansas City Chiefs, and that is exactly where he needed to be with Andy Reid, that creative offense. I mean, look, we remember Jarrett McKinnon finished as a top 20 running back that season. He had 70 targets. So I'm looking at more so his role of what he did a lot at SMU at the college level. He was a former wide receiver, so he has the natural hands. When he gets in open space, he moves like a wide receiver, but he can run and try to break tackles like a running back as well. He's super electric, so that is such a great pick right here.
All right, so Brashard Smith there. Who do you got at 30, Florio?
Laquan's not going to like me. This is who I thought you were going to take 2 picks ago, Marcus. Jarquez Hunter. Because I'll take the back tied to a Sean McVay, right? Like you said, like in round 3 of a dynasty, we're not really expecting immediate year 1 returns. So at this range, he's explosive and he's tied to Sean McVay. So that's enough for me.
All right, I'm at 31. You sort of tipped your hand, Laquan, and said, like, I'm not gonna do it. I could take Damian Martinez here just because you sort of tipped your hand on that. But I'll be nice. I'll leave it alone. I'm not gonna take him. On some levels, it feels a little bit like a reach, but I will take Alec Ayominor in this.
No, that's not a reach at all.
Okay, cool. And autocorrect keeps changing it to Epic. I
like that.
That could be a great nickname for him. But no, I will take him here. Again, the Titans wide receiver room is either aging or underperforming. I mean,
Warner.
It's not great, right? They're going to try to build around Cam Ward at some point. So Ayominor could be one of those guys. It's the building blocks in that offense. And again, a 3rd round pick. I don't have any expectations in year 1, but if he really does work himself into a bigger role, then, I feel really good about it. So
I gotta say, the 3rd round seems like the best round, at least this year in rookie drafts, because I've been trying to acquire multiple 3rd round picks just to get on some of the guys that we're talking about.
Yeah. All right. Well, you were up. Can I just put in Damian Martinez?
Yeah, you can go ahead and put Damian Martinez.
I just put Damian Martinez right in here. Yeah,
right
I'll put it in. Go ahead. Yeah.
Max shares. I'm going to get so much exposure in him in best ball leagues just because I know Ken will not have a full healthy season. That's just like almost guaranteed. So I want some Damian Martinez in year 1.
Okay. So not believing in K-Dub 3. All right. There we go. Florio, you're at 33. Who do you want here?
I'm going to stop the fall a lot earlier than if it stopped in real life. But Shedeur Sanders for me. I still continue to operate that. I view him as the best quarterback on the Browns. And I think he starts some games in year 1.
I think he does too. No, I think he does. Probably not week 1, but, I wouldn't be totally surprised if by like Halloween we see Shedeur Sanders.
I wouldn't be surprised if 4 different people start for them this year.
That part too, yes.
Yeah.
Flacco's going to start.
Will be fired by like week 8 if that was the case. If they had 4 different
Browns games are going to be like a race to 10 points with as good as their defense is and as bad as their offense is.
Or will he just quit? He's like, I'm done.
Oh, yeah.
Just walk away.
I'm done.
Yeah, but we could see Flacco. We could see Pickett. We could see Shedeur. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could see. I don't expect Dylan Gabriel, but I guess that's possible.
Look, I know I kind of hated on the guy on draft day, but did you see the video the NFL put out that he was bird calling and he was like, the bird said 94th pick, Cleveland Browns, and that's like literally the exact pick he went to?
That's funny.
Yes, insane.
That's funny. No, I missed that. That's pretty good.
Got the inside scoop
from a bird.
From a bird. That's the script. Delivered the script via bird.
What's up with the Browns, man? Because remember, like there was the unhoused guy with the great voice who told Jimmy Haslam to draft Johnny Manziel, and now we have birds
making draft decisions. It's insane.
What is happening in Cleveland, man? You got to rethink that draft process, Browns. You just got to think again about it. All right, so now I'm at number 34. This is where things get a little bit dicey at this point. Where do I go here? I think I am going to take the shot. maybe I go with a running back here, and I will take Kyle Monongai.
Ooh, that's a name I've been seeing on the fantasy streets pop up lately.
Yeah,
Who's
Kyle
this
Monongai. Again, in Chicago, right now it's the DeAndre Swift show. It really appears more and more like Rashawn Johnson's just never going to get a full opportunity in Chicago.
Was that ever the thing, though?
I don't know. I kind of liked him. I felt like his biggest crime in college was playing behind Bijan Robinson. Like, that wasn't his fault. Like,
that's tough.
But apparently, like, there's just not enough juice there. So I'll take Monongai and kind of hope things work out. Last couple picks in the third round, and we can go quickly through this fourth round here. So.
I'm gonna go Pat Bryant. I'm gonna trust Sean Payton once again.
You're putting a lot of trust in a dude who hates our fantasy teams.
No, I just like Pat Bryant just being that he modeled his game. He said coming up is looking and watching Jamar Chase. So I think there's some qualities there where he has a little wiggle to him after the catch, like Jamar Chase-esque. So I think, that's kind of what Sean Payton's looking for. A guy that's tall in stature, that has the size to frame, kind of like the Josh Reynolds and kind of like how we have Devon Bailey, how these are taller wide receivers, but he wants guys that can get something out there to catch. I think Pat Bryant would be that guy for him eventually in the future.
All right. Florida, you can round out round 3.
Not knocking Pat Bryant. Players need to stop doing this to themselves. Like, I grew up watching Jamar. Okay, that doesn't mean you could do it. Like, I grew up watching LeBron James,
I grew up watching King Griffey Jr. and I do this for a living. So, I mean, what do you want to say?
Like, come on, stop putting that, because fans hear that name and they're like, this is who, like, slow it down.
It definitely put me on the radar for him when he said that.
I do like Pat Bryant, though. I was going to take him here with this pick. You continue to snipe me.
Snipe again.
I will go with Jalen Royals here, who I won't say I loved as much as other fantasy people did, but he went to the Chiefs. And look, I'm probably higher on the Chiefs receiving core than most, but the one thing they struggle to do is stay on the field. So Royals could get an opportunity.
Also, side note to this, Pat Bryant saying that he grew up watching Jamar Chase. I mean, Jamar Chase is only 3 years older than you, dog. What? What are we talking about here? So anyway, round 4. We don't have to go any deep explanation for any of these. I'm gonna take the guy who was the draft darling right before we got to draft day. I'm gonna take Isaac Tesla. Is it Tesla or Tesla? I'm not sure.
He's getting Elon. Just call him Elon.
No, we're not doing that.
Poor guy.
We're not doing that. We are gonna take him to start the 4th round here. So Laquan, who do you have up next?
I'm going Devin Neal. He's over there in New Orleans. I definitely think, Alvin Kamara error is going to see a post error. And I like how Neal runs. A little Le'Veon Bell patience in him. And not the fastest guy, but he can catch as well. So I'll take Devin Neal.
All right. So Neal's off the board. Florio, who you got at 39?
I'll take Tyler Shuck, who probably going to start at least half the games this year, I'd imagine. So in a super flex, he's got some value.
All of them.
He could start all of them.
He could start all of them. I feel like he's sort of the reverse of a lot of these guys where we're like, hey, we're waiting until year 2 or 3 to start him. Like Tyler Shuck's like, we're going to start you this year and maybe next year. And then we're going to thank you for
to be fair for the Saints, they kind of gotta before he's too old.
Yeah, exactly.
He's get his own car insurance or health insurance, right?
He's been off his parents' health insurance for a while now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
There you go.
At number 40, I'm going to take DJ Giddens. Just
good pick.
Yeah, look, obviously it's still Jonathan Taylor's show there in Indianapolis, but who knows? At some point he's going to want a new contract, and then everybody on social media is going to call him like a diseased rhinoceros and say don't pay him. And so then DJ Giddens gets his opportunity. Laquan, who you got at 41?
Man, this pick I'm going to go with Ollie Gordon. If there is ever an opportunity for a Miami Dolphins running back to get touches, to have opportunity, I'll go Ollie Gordon because I think a lot of people are still holding on to that 23 season. So maybe he could tap back into that with Mike. Who knows? We'll see.
All right. So Ollie Gordon off the board. Florio, who do you like at 42?
I'll go Taj Brooks. Look, I love Chase Brown, but it's pretty thin behind him. And if anything happens to him, Brooks could be seeing some meaningful year 1 touches. All
right. So Taj Brooks off the board. I'm I'm looking at a tight end, and I'm debating on which one I'm going to take. I think I'm going to go with Harold Fannin Jr. here.
That's my guy.
Yeah,
He probably fell too
who knows?
far.
Again, I have no idea what's going to happen with the Browns quarterback situation. And as good as David Njoku has been, I think at some point they're going to move on from him too in the next couple of years. So an opportunity for Fannin. Laquan, can I just put in Terrence Ferguson here for you right now?
No, you never draft a Rams tight end. But no, I'm going to go Woody Marks down in Houston behind Joe Mix. Yeah, there you go. That's one of your guys. I know that gets you excited, but yeah, Woody Marks, he got some opportunities on the horizon.
I was gonna say, if you hadn't taken him, he wasn't gonna get past me at 46. Just out of homerishness, he was not going to get past me. So, Florio at 45. Who do you want?
That's 100% who I was just about to take.
Yo, all day. Let's go.
And we're at the point now where I'm diving deep. I will take all of the running backs.
Yeah, there's not
I'll
much
take
left
Savion Williams just because, right?
Oh yeah,
he might get an opportunity. At this point, we're so deep that he third round draft capital. I'll take a shot on that.
All right. I'm gonna go at 46. I'm gonna take Trevor Etienne.
the brother.
I mean,
they're in
yeah,
the same division.
They are in the same division. That's right. No, they're not. No, Travis is in Jacksonville. Trevor's in Carolina.
Oh,
One's in the NFC. They're both in the South. Just one is NFC, one's AFC.
Well, excuse me.
I feel like poor Jonathan Brooks is just never going to get on track. I mean, I feel bad for the kid. He just keeps getting hurt. Chuba's been great. Rico Dowdle could be a short-term experiment. So maybe there's something there for Trevor Etienne. Last two picks. Laquan, who you got at 47?
I'm going to go Gunnar Helms over there in Tennessee with Cam Ward. I liked a little bit of what I saw on tape. He could definitely be developing to be a nice little security blanket for Cam Ward because we know how he utilized Elijah Arroyo.
All right. So Gunnar Helm off the board. Last pick of our rookie mock draft. Florio, who do you have?
I'll take Ty Felton just because he's tied to KOC in that Vikings offense. So why not?
All right.
Deep threat.
Very cool. All right, so there you go. 48 picks that we made for rookies here. I think we moved some guys up, some guys fell a little bit, but I think overall pretty faithful to kind of where ADP is on a lot of these guys at this point. Of course, that's going to shift as we go through the summer, and maybe we'll do this again at some point, just when we have things to not talk about during the next couple of months. There you go. A little bit of a longer show today. We'll be back with you live streaming again on Thursday. The cheat sheet is back. We have to set up, maybe we'll got to set the parameters for this summer's film festival because we have not done that yet.
Oh, you guys have to watch Havoc. Please watch Havoc.
I'll check out Havoc.
Please.
By Thursday?
Yeah, by Thursday, I'm not sure because
maybe next Thursday.
Andor is out now, so I got Andor I got to watch in the next couple of days too. So,
you guys have to watch Havoc. Classic 90s movie. It's literally
I'm
everything
down.
from the 90s.
I just don't know if I can get to it
from
in the next
2025.
48 hours.
Marcus, you're gonna watch him like what years is it? 96 right now.
All right. I mean, look, it's got Tom Hardy, it's got Forrest Whitaker, it's got Timothy Oliphant. Like, all right, this we got some people. We got some people. So, all right. I will try to get to that after I'm done watching Cassian Andor try and upend the Empire. So see how that goes. All right, a little bit of a longer show. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Be sure to check us out on Thursday live streaming at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. We'll be on the YouTubes, so look for the links for that and come hang out with us. We like to have a good time. We like to be interactive too. So if you got questions, you could drop them in the chat and we will.
Good morning, Australia.
All of that. Good morning, Australia. That'll do it for this edition of the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast. Stay happy, safe, and healthy. Do good and live well. Enjoy Andor Tuesday. Watch Havoc if you feel so inclined. And we'll talk to you again on Thursday.